Hi, Mike Stickler here. I've been thinking about going to Hawaii. Have you been? This is a great time of year to go. In fact, I've got my best Hawaii clothes on. So let's just say you wanted to throw in with me and go to Hawaii. There's a couple of things we would need in order to plan our trip. First, we would need to know where Hawaii was. So we would actually need to know where the latitude and longitude was. The second thing we need to know is where are we right now, exactly the latitude and longitude. We'd need to pick out our form of transportation. That would be whether we're going to sail, or we're going to take a plane, or we're going to take a cruise ship. And with that bit of knowledge, we can plan how long it's going to take, what resources we need, and when are we going to get there. And that's a lot like what it takes with a ministry and nonprofit. Often we talk about what vision we have and how we're going to make a big impact in the community, but often we don't know that one key piece, and that's where are we today, let alone where we're going to go. And without knowing where we are today, we can't plan a trip to get to where we're going. Let me explain. Okay, so I hear a lot of folks talking about their vision, but most of the time what I hear them saying is things like, well, we help the homeless and we do this, or we are, we have a church and we disciple and do these kinds of things, or we have a domestic violence facility, or we help orphans in foreign countries. And what typically they're deciding or really explaining is the actual mission of what they're doing. But what you really need to understand is where you're going. And using my little analogy of being in a boat that we're going to be sailing together to Hawaii, you need to know a couple of things. Because vision is very much like traveling. In fact, the way I defined vision is a planned destination with a time of arrival. A planned destination with a time of arrival. Imagine if we were going to go to Hawaii together, we would be thinking about why do we want to go there. We would buy brochures, we would look at videos, we would do all kinds of different things to kind of get in our mind's eye, what does the destination look like? And that's a dream. A dream becomes a vision when we start to plan it. When we start to put together some things. And then we decide when we're going to go. That's when a vision comes together. Let me see if I can go a little deeper for you. 5 things you need to get started in your vision trip is, first, you need to know where you are, the actual latitude and longitude. You need to know where you're going, the actual latitude and longitude. You need to know why you're going to go there. That's part of where you're going. You also need to know how you're going to get there, the actual way we're going to travel. You want to know what you need in order to make the trip successful, and you also have to know how long it will take. That's how you put a vision together, is to have these 5 elements. So let's go through each one of them one at a time. First, where are you? You can't guess about your location. You can't have wishful thinking about your location. You have to know right now, today, where are you? If we go back to my illustration about sailing together, we would need to know our actual latitude and longitude. And as we started out, every few hours we would actually take our bearings to know that we were on course to go to the ultimate destination that we planned on. And we need to know its latitude and longitude. Otherwise, we would be out in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, just sailing circles around and around. I call this the startup mode. You're always in the perpetual startup mode. And you never are actually heading to a destination, making progress of where you're going. Why? Because you didn't know where you started from. Secondly, you need to know where you're going. Most of us in ministry in the nonprofit world have a general idea where we're going. But why are we going there? What is the purpose? Have we done our due diligence? Have we looked into it as much as we would look into a trip to Hawaii? Have we looked into the trip and the destination that we claim we'd like to go? It's really a crucial piece. Most of us think things like, I want to go somewhere sunny, I want to take a cruise, but not actually the destination, because it's still a dream. And once we've done our due diligence to figure out where we really want to go with our ministries and with our nonprofits, we make this statement: we're going to Hawaii. We're going to end homelessness in our community. We're going to stop domestic violence in our community. We're going to know that every single individual in our city has been invited to church or has heard the gospel at least once. See, that's a destination you can grab a hold of. So let's go to the next one. How are we going to get there? This is actually your mission. It's your mode of how you will fulfill your vision. See, I mentioned at the beginning, we talk all the time about our mission because that's what we're doing today. But think about it. If I said to you, where do you want to go? And you said to me, I have a boat. Okay, well, where does that boat sail? I have a boat, and we polish and clean it and fold its sails every day. I said, great. So where is the boat located? Is it in the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean? It's a sailboat. That would be your answer. See, that's exactly what we do when we continually talk about our mission with no vision attached. Because once we set what our vision is, see, then we have to decide what method we're going to use, what mode we're going to use to get there. As we use my illustration of going to Hawaii, you could fly there, you could take a cruise ship there, you can sail there, you could take a motor yacht there. Heck, there's a guy that even tried to kayak to Hawaii from San Francisco. He only made it about 4 days out before the Coast Guard had to rescue him. But what are you going to do? See, and it's important to realize that what happens if your mission changes? What happens if you started one way and halfway across you have to change the way you're doing it? The vision, the destination doesn't change. You just come to the realization that the method or the mode you're using is different or needs to become different. Where you are going often determines, or at least influences, the mission, what you're going to use. Let me go one more step a little bit deeper here. Imagine you had a Christian school, and I know some of you do. What happens if, I don't know, our education, the way we do education through schools changes? What happens if Christian schools are outlawed in the country you happen to be serving in? What happens if online education is the way that the world goes? And you have to change your mission, but it shouldn't change your vision. See where I'm going? Which is to educate children, to be part of building young adults. See, there's a huge difference in how you'll approach these two things. What you need. On your way, there's some things you're going to need. And as you build this vision together about where you're going to go with your organization, you'll start to realize you need some provisions, money, supplies. If we were sailing, we would need some money. We would need to have supplies for enough time to go to where we were going. We would need expertise, expert sailors, navigators, pilots. When we're setting out on a vision with our nonprofit or Christian ministry, we need expertise to help us, the experts in where we're going and how we're going to get there. We'll need training, okay? Often knowledge, the knowledge now and along the way is what we need. So we need to assess how much knowledge do we have and how much knowledge are we going to need to gain along the way in order to achieve our destination, our vision. And we'll need a team. Who is the ideal team for the trip? Not your friends and pals and encouragers, but who's the ideal team? If you were going to go out on the Pacific Ocean and sail a couple of weeks to Hawaii, wouldn't you want to know that the people that are on that boat with you knew what they were doing? If you're going to set out, if you're going to build into a vision, you need to look around at the team that's around you. Are they the ones that can help you achieve this vision? What else? We'll need to know how long it takes, because that's going to play into everything about the provision, the team, all kinds of things. But see, I listed this last because without putting those other places, where we are, where we're going, all of those other resources together, we won't really have an idea of how long it'll take. So we need to know the destination. We need to know what we have and what we'll need. We need to have known now what our method or our mode is, our mission. Are we going to take a boat? Are we going to take an airplane? Are we going to take a kayak? How are we going to get there? And then here's the big one. We need to recognize that we have to cast the vision along the way. Why? Because vision motivates people. The reason we're going to Hawaii gets people's excitement up. They get enthusiastic. They want to be part of it. But you know what happens? That enthusiasm has a tendency to wane in the actual labor of the trip. Let's go back and think about Hawaii for a minute. If you're out on that sailboat with me and you had to take your turn at the helm, and your turn was at 3 a.m., they call that a watch on a sailboat. Your watch is at 3 a.m. and it's rough seas and it's wet, and you're out there and you're going, what am I doing out here? This is awful. You have to have been refreshed in that vision to want to stick it out. I mean, it takes a couple of weeks to get there. And most of us that have a vision for our ministry and our nonprofit, it takes even longer. And so you have to be, as a leader, you have to be ready to build and cast vision, the same vision. Why are we going to Hawaii? What's it going to be like? How exciting is it going to be? What are we going to do when we get there? Why is it impacting? For a ministry, it's who are we impacting? How are we changing lives? Why is this a worthy trip? You have to be casting that vision the whole way. And when you're doing it, I got to tell you, people feel like they're repeating themselves, and to a certain extent you are. But I want you to grab a hold of it as most crucial piece to keeping your crew and keeping yourself, for that matter, on course. So where do I start? Well, first you got to figure out where you are. Determining the direction and effectiveness of your organization is a mandatory practice in today's competitive fundraising environment. I have created an assessment tool to help your organization determine where you stand in accepted best practices. From organizational development to fundraising methodologies, this assessment is a serious undertaking, having been developed using accepted best practices and scientific data collection. The assessment will take you about 15 minutes to complete. There's 62 questions. We suggest the senior leadership from within your organization complete the assessment, because they're going to have the ones that have the knowledge of where you are. And in that assessment, we're going to look at a few things, 8 things actually. General fundraising method, leadership board development, community engagement, philanthropy engagement, strategic funding plans, grant writing practices, building campaign preparedness, and developing a generous culture. These areas, not all of them are going to apply to you, but what we want to do is look at each of them. It's kind of like going to the doctor. The doctor's going to do a full exam on you before they start talking to you about the symptoms. And in the same sense, we want to help you figure out exactly where you are. Then what we do is we develop a personalized management report for you. Once you submit the completed assessment, A senior analyst from our staff will compare your ratings against our proprietary national database and show you where your organization ranks right now, today. Where are you? You'll get this report back to you within 2 business days. And we're going to give you some ideas of how you can improve some of your best practices and improve your organizational health. And I want you to know this is not an automated process. It's not just going into some kind of algorithm deal and spitting out a report. We actually go through it so that we can give you good, solid counsel of how you can improve some things going into the future. It's a really cool tool, you guys. And you need to know your actual latitude and longitude today, where you are today, in order to get to where you're going. Now, some of you I know are saying, but Mike, we've been working on this vision a long time. Yeah, but have you checked your course to see if you have everything you need and you're on track? That's what this great little tool will do for you. Now, check this out. This is an investment in your own ministry, in what you're doing. So I want you to just realize that normally we charge $99 for this assessment, but because you took the time to invest in this little crazy little training I've just given you, it's only $27. You can click the link right here, and for $27 you can get immediate access to take this assessment, and then you'll get your professional management report. You guys, this is the one crucial thing you need to do. I don't care if you've been in ministry 30 years or 30 hours. This is a crucial thing. For you as a ministry leader and a nonprofit leader, this is where you want to start. Okay, so click on the button and we'll get you that report right back in just a couple of days. All right, God bless each and every one of you.